everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today's video we're going to be looking at wax and oil resist, primarily wax, and I've just picked out a few things that I'm going to try here. So if you saw the video that we did on using wax, actual wax from a burner, you've seen that we sort of did this piece here, which is where the wax has dropped onto the paper, and then we've sort of filled in the background with a distress oxide spray, and that's one resist. But today I wanted to sort of cover a few more examples. So the first one I'm going to look at is using these crayons. You might remember those from childhood or when you had small children around, these Crayola wax crayons, and they can be used to create a resist effect on card, on different mediums actually. Also, you could use card, you can use tissue paper. Do you know what? I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure you could. And obviously you can try different papers as well. Excuse me, I'm a bit croaky today, something going around. So first off, I'm only going to demo actually the background with a watercolor paint, but obviously you can use different things as your background when you fill it in. You could perhaps use chalks, you can use the distress sprays, other types of paints as well. Just give it a go. I think I'm just going to stick to watercolor today because it's a bit easier to do. This is very simple technique, it's nothing sort of dramatic, but I'm going to just pick a stencil. You could just draw freehand, I will do for the other two, but for this one I'll just do a stencil. When you're choosing a stencil to use, pick one with some nice open patterns. What you don't want to do is choose something too complicated. Like some of these are a little complicated, or else you'll be there all afternoon drawing. Depends, you might want to be there all afternoon drawing, but also some of these are going to be quite difficult to do. Let's pick out that one, for example. Yeah, a bit difficult. So I'm just placing the stencil over the top, and I'm just going to go in, use this crayon. I seem to turn up here out of breath. I don't know why. Just had lunch, so I've just had to write a few really nasty emails, actually, complaint emails, so probably a bit wound up from that. Now I don't know if I've covered all of those. I've just quickly drawn. You may or may not be able to see that on there. So we're going to have a resist when we go over with our watercolor paint. I'm just going to pick a blue to cut. Oh dear, brush was a bit dirty, I think. I hope you appreciate how many things go wrong here. It's all part of the fun, you know. Okay, so I'm just washing on this background, and you can vary the colour a bit if you want as you go down to get the effect that you want. That's quite nice because you've got two different tones there. Let's try that one. I'm just putting it on there. Okay, so you can see that you get quite a nice, very subtle effect actually from that, and that would look absolutely beautiful as a collage paper or something similar. You could even just mount that on the front of a card with an embellishment or greeting. I think that's actually so simple but so effective. Okay, so that's the Crayola, so I'll just put that one to one side. Next up, we're going to have a look at these, which are I used to love these as a small child. I used to ask them for every single Christmas. Particularly like getting gold and silver in there, but I used to go for the sort of the biggest one possible. It used to be just in one long line. These oil pastels, and these ones were fairly cheap off Amazon actually. So I'm going to pick out, you could use any of the colours actually, but because I'm demonstrating resist, I'm just going to go with the white. And let's draw something on here. Perhaps we might draw, did a pattern earlier, just a sort of a wiggly pattern. I can't really see what I'm doing, you know, what's happening on the page, and it's like those magic paintings. Do you remember those? Was it lemon juice, I think? It becomes, see, there's another resist almost, isn't it? Lemon juice. So I'm going to go with the green. becomes obvious only when you wash over it. This is lovely. This is a nice effect. I did this one earlier as well. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just picking some colours here. Going for a sort of stripy effect. Oh, it's quite pretty. Okay, so now you see, if I just hold the two together, similar, but the white on here, because it's actually a white, you know, a oil white, you're getting a sort of almost a stronger resist, I suppose. It's a little bit clearer, isn't it? All right, so the last one I wanted to do just quickly today, because there are many different ways you can do this. I could spend hours on it, so I'll do them separate videos, I think, was these. So I found these in the cupboard. I was just about to put them in the charity box. They weren't even really used, you can tell, really. I think we did Halloween one year or something. Face painting. I wanted to see how these would work. So this one, we're going to do this kind of, these are quite different to apply. They're very creamy, very soft. Getting quite a different experience here as you put it on. So what colour should we do this one? I'm thinking maybe a pink. No, we'll try pink, shall we? It's almost like it's left because it's so soft, it's left like bits on the page as well as I've gone over it. I don't think I've maybe pushed as hard as I could have done. Because it was so soft, I was trying to not push hard on the paper. You're getting quite a subtle effect there, aren't you? Maybe a bit too subtle, I don't know. Okay, so that's that one. So that's pretty too. Put those out the way. So now you've got these. So we've got our original Crayola. You just grab it. I'll put it away, didn't I? What to do with it? There we go. So that one. Then we had that one. And then we had that one. So you can see what we've got. So again, it's going to depend on what you put this on. There's the effects you get as well. These ones I did earlier, and this is very, very pale actually. This was on a sort of different type of, that's the wax crayon. And I think this is the one where you get the least difference or contrast. This was on a sort of more like a watercolour style paper, very cheap one, I think. This was your oil pastel. And then this one was the face paint. And you can see what's nice with this one, with the face paint, because of the type of paper that I was using, is you get this almost like stuttery effect, which in itself is really rather nice. If I compare it to the one that we did on just this plain but thin card, you can see it's quite a different effect that you get. So your background card or your substrate is going to actually impact on the effect that you get as well. We also looked quickly at the actual wax. We're using the wax burner. And you can see that there's some, I just want to point out, some of those have still got the raised wax on and some where it's actually dropped off. If you want to keep it, I don't mind actually, so I'm probably going to pick those off because that's actually left a nice white impression behind. But if you want to keep those lumps on there, you can perhaps use a matte medium or something or glue or fixative to just hold the wax in place. But that actually was related to a previous video. So today we've just really worked on those. There's many more to discover, and we will do. You can work with different media in the background. We've just used watercolour today, but we could use distress sprays, we could use chalks and other things as well. And I'll be using some of those when we try some other resist techniques. So join me again. Thank you. Bye.